This will be my last one, but it's a critical one. And part of this will be finally nailed down with the governance body and the final terms of the market. But there's some leading sense here in terms of the principles in the report, which is if you're going to be participating in this market as a buyer, you can't just show up and buy a few offsets and put them in your window and feel good about yourself. No, you actually have to have a comprehensive net zero plan. And by the way, there are 1,500 companies with net zero plans. Not all of those plans are comprehensive net zero plans, which would meet the standards of those markets today. This will help ensure that those are the case, and then that number increases. And then also, what other requirements will there be for those companies that would include the annual reporting on the plan, the mark-to-market, the relative contribution. So all of that is a way to enhance the legitimacy of this activity. My last point, though, was my first point, which Bill Winters said this, which is we're all looking for the same objective. We're all trying to get to net zero. We need to maximize our possibility of getting to net zero, our probability of getting to net zero. And this is part of the answer, only part of the answer, and it maximizes the ability to turn over the capital stock as quickly as possible and to make the kind of innovations that Bill Gates was talking about a moment ago.
As you guys can see, I took one for the team, went on weforum.org, rejected all possible cookies, okay, and watched this panel of Mark Carney hanging out with a bunch of elitist pricks, talking about offsetting their companies offsetting their carbon footprint. So we're going to talk about that. Pierre and Joe Rogan, and we're going to talk about Northern Perspective today and independent Canadian content creators. And I just want to thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. It truly helps me get my channel out there in the ether. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've been deleted so many times on TikTok that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to commit to YouTube video. And since groceries are so expensive, going to try to make some money. So truly, thank you guys so much. You're helping me put food on the table for my kids. And truly, we should have enough money because my husband works his butt off. But in Canada, that goes nowhere. And actually, you are punished if you work hard. So welcome back to the Freedom Pints podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. I don't know if I already said that, but let's get into today's video. So I watched this panel with Mark Carney last night, and I have still come to the conclusion that he is net zero final boss. As you've seen in the clip in the beginning of this, he definitely is standing by the fact that this is in 2021, but the fact of the matter is that woman asked him, how are we going to make sure that companies are doing net zero and all of these different things? And what did he say? Governance. So until Mark Carney comes out and denounces all of the things that he wrote in his book, all of the things that he's got up on a world globalist stage and said, I don't believe that he has the best interest of Canadians in mind. This entire thing was talking about how companies can offset their carbon footprint by literally buying a piece of land, having a bunch of trees on it, or bunch of land that doesn't have trees on it, and planting a bunch of trees and calling it a day. And you get to pollute as much as you want, call yourself carbon zero or net zero, because you have a bunch of credit points from owning that land with a bunch of trees on it. So that was in 2021, but I still have yet to find any denouncement of any of these things. Okay, and by the way, if we wanted to be more green, then we would just be more green. Okay, they wouldn't have gotten rid of the windmill plant in Tillsonburg, Ontario, and we wouldn't be zealots about this. We would have options, and it would be normal to have different options, but it's not. And you can tell that this is something different because of the cult that it is, the unaliving cult that it is. Okay. Because in this panel, Bill Gates admits that it's going to cost companies a lot of money, and that it's going to come back on the consumers. And they'll be able to make a better choice of where they want to put their climate or where they want to spend their money. Yeah. The only reason why I wouldn't think that this is still going on is because Trump has said, no more, we're not doing this, and most of the companies that Mark Carney is talking about are American owned, like Brookfield. And those people are no longer required. So we will have to see. I don't want to wait around because, like I said, the left are already getting their scripts. They literally said, I could not believe it. And I told my husband this, and that's when he started asking me about net zero and what it meant for the first time. I don't talk about these things with my husband because I like to have a peaceful, harmonious home life. And not that I don't talk to my husband about these things. Like if I'm ranting, he'll listen, but I've never really gone into depth about what is going on here. And I told him about it because he loves dirt biking, and the look on his face was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Because now it's not just that we don't need a truck. No, the script is, I'm so sick and tired of seeing men complain about taxes when they have an $80,000 truck and 2 dirt bikes in the back. So you think that because people spend their money on things that they want to spend their money on and they don't want to work for free, which by the way, any other time in history, that's called slavery. What are you talking about? You don't think men, like, I wish I could show her a photo of my husband in the log shredder, because I have seen a photo of my husband in the log shredder and it makes me want to die inside. And I wonder, why is he not getting more money? Why is he not getting more money when he is in that death machine? Death machine, okay? You think my husband doesn't deserve to have things, and you think my husband deserves to have half his paycheck taken from us because you don't think that people should have dirt bikes? Blows my mind. Apparently you're not allowed to complain that the government takes half of your paycheck because you own other things. And I'm telling you, I think the only time that the left will start giving a crap is when they're not allowed to travel. Because there is no way, until I got you-know-whatted and had to use baby wipes all the time, that me raising 3 children was worse for the environment than the left and all of their traveling. I don't care if people travel. What I care about is if you care that I have children and you care about the environment so much that you want to put people into poverty but yet travel around the world. That doesn't make sense. You shouldn't even be on a plane. I'm just saying. Okay, next we're going to talk about Pierre not going on Joe Rogan. First of all, I want to say I don't want to talk about this much because I genuinely think what Mario thought. I think that if he went on when he was on Jordan Peterson, that would have been great. I think doing it during the election cycle with this massive Donald Trump psyop going on, which by the way, that's exactly what it was when Mark Carney gets up there and he says, Pierre Polyev is going to bow down to Trump, and then literally bends over for Trump. The tariffs are not even gone. Yes, I'm glad that we don't have a fighting relationship with America at this time, because I don't want to see liberals booing a 15-year-old girl in a wheelchair because she's singing the American national anthem. But Mark Carney did nothing. He did not get a single tariff taken off. Nothing. So, I mean, whatever. The left thinks it's a win because they'll excuse anything. They'll excuse the fact that 3 months ago they were cheering on Luigi for doing you know what, and then turn around 3 months later and vote the guy that they were cheering Luigi Mangione on for unaliving. You can't make it up. I am also someone who watches Joe Rogan. A part of me leaving the left was that compilation of Joe Rogan saying the N-word and me going and listening to the episodes, or even the one with Bernie, being like, okay, I need to listen. Is he this extremist? Like, what's going on? The man is very center-leaning, I gotta say. And by the way, the only people that would have been open to listening to Joe Rogan, Pierre Polyev and Joe Rogan, are people who are already voting for Pierre Polyev. I don't know how many times I gotta tell you guys that. Joe Rogan had Bernie Sanders on. Bernie Sanders. Do you think the left's ever watched that episode? to know who Joe Rogan is? No, they haven't. Second part of my video is going to be about Northern Perspective, because first I want to just say I am praying for them. That is so scary, and I want to thank them for letting us know, because how would we know if they did not tell us? I would have seen that email and been like, meh, this is weird, and then deleted it. That, or not even deleted it, just left it there and never looked at it again. So, and I love like weird emails. Like I do look at emails that I get in my junk mail because I just think they're so strange. But I am very thankful that they told us, even though the RCMP wants them to delete it. So just to let them know if they watch this, I'm praying for them. But I also wanted to get into why I've never been approached or anything. And that I'm not bought, I'm not paid, I'm a very independent voice. I wouldn't even ever want to work for anybody, because the flexibility that I have to be able to make these videos, and with my issues that I've had, I would never, no government is gonna pay me to make content. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even work for the Conservatives, even though I really advocate for them, because I just know that I would want to talk about it and hold them accountable if they do stuff that I don't like. So while I appreciate all of the, like Andrew Lawton, I appreciate him. I don't judge him for going and wanting to make a difference. I just know that if the Conservatives were doing something that I don't agree with, I would never be able to keep my mouth shut, and I would absolutely be kicked out of cabinet. So that's me. If you really want to know why I'm here, I have 2 full videos on why I supported the convoy. And, long story short, I'll just say a couple of things as to what got me started. First of all, I've been here for 3 years. I'm sure you guys have seen my videos go viral and just not know it's me. I didn't realize that even my videos were as viral as they were until I went and looked at my tag, Freedom Pines or 5 Pines, on websites, and seen my videos and been like, oh my gosh, some of these views are more than my actual TikTok got. So that's great. But, so I was a single mom, went to school during Harper, got my dream job in the schools, was forced to take something. My life has never been the same since. If you know, you know. And then we decided to take, charge of our lives like Conservatives do. We moved up north because the houses are cheaper and my husband could work for a decent salary. Nowhere down south is paying blue collar workers really well, unless you're like in Toronto working cranes or own your own business, stuff like that. There's just not, even the auto jobs, they don't pay the way that they paid my mom and my dad when they were younger. You know what I mean? And then we move up north and I try to do photography. My friend steals from me. And because we live in Canada, she's able to call the cops and say, I'm not going to pay after she blocks me, I'm not going to be paying my friend back. I was just wondering if you could let her know that I'm not paying her back. Thank you. And the cops called me and said, can you please not hurt her feelings online? First of all, I am not stupid. I would never say anything that would get me in trouble with the police, okay? Number 2, that's just the type of DEI nonsense that goes on in Canada. And then I was stolen from somebody who wasn't from here. Almost a federal amount, $4,500. I think it's $5,000 that it takes to be a federal offense. As soon as I told them who it was, they started ignoring me, and my money got sent to collections. So yeah, every time I've tried to crawl myself out of a hole, for some reason, the government just keeps implementing regulations that are corrupt and keep, making sure that Canadians will not own anything, nor will they be happy. And I don't want people thinking that my videos are anything other than my own opinions. So I just had to make that clear. I feel truly bad for Northern Perspective, but I will say, one thing after the Lauren Chen situation I have learned and started listening for are the people that you're listening to saying that democracy doesn't work. Are they saying that only educated people can be voting? Are they saying that not everybody should have the right to vote? That's the type of stuff that you need to listen for and act accordingly. Because truth be told, I mean, you compare anything to even the Hunger Games, they were still voting on stuff like the resistance after, everything happened. They're still taking votes. Okay? Why? Because that's how stuff works. That's how community works. Even the smaller community you're in, the more, people are going to have a say on things. And the only way to, and make things fair is democracy. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Do I think it necessarily has to look like the way that even like America or Canada does it? No, I think there's probably better ways of reforming things. But even the Alberta thing, I don't know what people think, but it's definitely going to be peaceful. Okay. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than, it really sucks that us could be propelled forward by our own passionate words for nefarious reasons. It really sucks. And I've always thought about that. Someone told me that video goes viral on it, and that it's part of, which I'm like, oh, good. Great. Because I have videos that have millions and millions of views. So whatever. But also like, so then what? We all stay silent and do nothing? I don't know. I truly, the answer is to let you guys know I'm an independent and what I say and admit when I'm wrong, and I do my best though to bring the truth forward all the time. I don't want to sensationalize things, like even YouTube, like when I ask GPT like how can you be better, and the thumb that they want me to put, damn, a little polarizing. And I actually, until weeks ago, I was really mad after, or a week ago, after like, I literally always came from the perspective of trying to be more. I just have kind of had enough after the last week, all of their answers of what they. I'm just bullied and the same government and nobody being accountable for anything, but whatever. At least Polyev is good. I gave up the option. I would have left him as Minister of Canada, but that's what we got. To watch petty and just that I'm petty. So, anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm grocery shopping. I'll show you guys how expensive it is to a family of 5. People are like, it's a buy better. You need to stop spending on stuff that you don't need. Oh, really? Lefty sound like style concern. Anyways, have a good one, and remember, if you don't like BC or to the CB, make sure to follow me.